Previously, we used the Web of Science to find articles based on a title or topic area. In this video, we're going to examine some of the wealth of information available on those articles. Now, finding an article or set of articles in the Web of Science is really just the tip of the iceberg. The Web of Science contains a lot more information about these articles and the researchers behind them. All right, let's take a look. To see that, let's go back to the paper on the built environment and children. So let's define it. Let's go to the home page for the Web of Science. I'm going to be lazy and just pull up the little words right there. Do our little search, right? And let's scroll down till we find Jose's paper. And there it is right there. The Sapochnik, the impact of the built environment on children's school conduct grades and that. Okay, great. Now notice it already tells us the authors, or at least some of the authors in this little summary that we have here. It tells us how many times it's been cited, how many other studies have cited this, or publications have cited this paper, right? And it gives us a link to a full text PDF copy of the article. That's great, but let's say I want to save this reference. Maybe I want to store it in EndNote or some other citation manager software, or save it to an Excel file or Word file or something. How can I do that? Well, it's actually very simple. All you need to do is, you see this little box here, you check that little box, and then next to the article you want to save, then you scroll up and find this. Here's another box, little button here, add to marked list. So you click this, and notice up here, our marked list tab up here has changed to, it's got a little 1 next to it. What we've done is you can check, you can select articles by checking those little boxes, and it can be, we only did 1, you could do more than that, obviously. You can do it throughout your time on Web of Science and keep adding articles. But as you add them to, as you select them and then add them to the marked list, you start to create this list up here. And let's click on this and it'll show us. And here's all the articles that we flagged. Now, in this case, we've only flagged 1, but you can imagine it could be many more. And then once you've selected them here, once you flag these, you can export them. Now you can click this box at the top and select all of them, or you can go through and select individual ones, or drop some if you've selected and then drop it if you've changed your mind. But once they're in your marked list, then we can click export. I've selected them, and here's all the options that you can do for exporting it. You can export it into EndNote. You can export it into other citation manager software. All right, you can put it into Excel if you want. All sorts of different options. Now, if you think about it, this is a really handy tool. That if you're working on a detailed literature review for a thesis or dissertation or a big report or something, you might have dozens of articles that you found and you need to keep track of, and do you really want to type in all that information again on your own? I mean, no, you can export it directly into some citation manager software and save yourself a ton of time. So that is great little resource for these. Okay, let's go back, and that alone makes this very handy, but wait, there's more. If we click on the title, notice the title of the article is also a link. We can get all sorts of additional information. Okay, let's do that. All right, so here we are. Now, there's a lot of stuff here, so we're going to take it bit by bit. I mean, to start, right here, it gives you a detailed citation, right? Here's all the authors now are listed. Here's the abstract. That's nice, so you can read the abstract, get more information about a study to see, is this a paper that you're interested in? Very handy. Notice again, it gives you the authors, but also notice they are clickable links. We can click on Jose and it takes us to a page about Jose and his publications. Now, we'll come back to that later, so let's not spend time on it here. The journal, look at the journal, is also a clickable link. And I can click on that and it pops up information from journal citation reports that about the journal that published this paper, their impact factor and rankings and stuff. And we've got a whole nother video that talks about impact factors and journal citation reports, so we won't talk about that here either. Notice the, I'm going to close that. The keywords are also clickable links. So you could, for example, let's say I'm interested in built environment and physical activity. You can click on that and it takes you to a list of articles. A big list here, 83,000. But if you sort by relevance, it's in some way, hopefully, kind of identifying articles around physical activity that kind of fit this same theme of looking at the built environment and children and all that. So again, kind of just another resource you can use to potentially find other articles that you may be interested in. You can keep scrolling down and it even gives you information about the funding agencies if a project was funded. So great. Now we can go up to the top and let's look at this other column. We already talked about the citations. You can click on this and it takes you to a list of these citations for that article. All the other articles that have specifically cited it. That's great, but we'll come back to that later. So let's not spend time on that. The cited references, it's a list of all of the references in our paper. Who are all the people that this manuscript, this publication cited? We can see there's 73. They're actually listed below. We'll see them in just a minute. It's also kind of based on the citations and topic and keywords and that. It's given a list of other articles that may be interesting to someone who's interested in this study. So if you're interested in Jose's study, here's some other studies, some other publications you may find interesting, kind of based on their algorithms and commonalities with some of the features of this article. It gives us the use in Web of Science, just kind of how many hits has it had, and how many people have gone to this specific page in Web of Science, about the article. Let's keep going. And now we're down to, again, the references. So here we've got our 73 references. Okay. Now, this is really handy information, especially because it's interactive. But if you think about it, if you're interested in one paper, you may be interested in at least some of the research that paper cited. I mean, here's the list of people we talked about in this paper. If you found this paper interesting, these are the people that influenced us. This is, maybe they've done similar studies. Maybe they have ideas that influenced our ideas that we are kind of building off of in that. So if you're interested in one paper, it's often worth going through the references and seeing, are there other studies that were cited in that paper that you may also want to look at. Now, if there's things you're interested in, I'd go to the View a Set of Results. Click this button, and what it does is it gives you that same level of information and functionality that we just saw with the original article. I mean, so this is just incredibly handy. I mean, you can scroll down. Let's see, we can download PDFs of articles that we referenced. You can click on the authors. You can click on the title of this article, and it takes you to the same sort of page that we've just seen for our paper. But here's that information for articles that we cited. It gives you kind of their citation information. How many references are in that paper? You can click the little box and add it to your marked list and say, you know what, I want to keep track of this one as well and upload this later. So I can download a PDF. I can save it to my citation manager software and just kind of zip along very fast. If the list is too long, you can come over here, and here's all sorts of filters on the left that you can kind of reduce it. You know, some articles may have hundreds of references, so you can kind of filter through that if you'd like, in all sorts of different ways. Now, you can see from this, hopefully, that you can very quickly build up a nice bibliography and file of articles based on whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever that topic is. Now with that, you know, again, this is a great tool. Take advantage of this. But again, with that point, why don't we wrap up this video? All right. Now, in our next video, we'll see how to find articles based on a specific researcher, okay, instead of these other ways that we've been looking. So if I want to find articles based on a person, okay? With that, let's take care. Bye-bye.